Single dad's incredible journey. Hired a babysitter for his twin daughters, only to discover she. In the heart of suburban Ohio, where picket fences fade into the setting sun, Ryan struggled with the weight of expectations. As the manager of a small hardware store, he was a diligent worker, yet he often felt invisible. His twin daughters, Emma and Lily, whose laughter echoed through their modest home, relied on him not just for food and shelter, but for love. Each night, as bills piled high on the kitchen table, his heart raced with the relentless fear of not being enough. "Daddy, look, I'm a mud pie chef," Emma squealed, her fingers covered in sticky dirt. Ryan smiled despite the tightness in his chest. Moments like this reminded him of his purpose, yet a shadow loomed larger each day. The whispers from neighbors, "How can a man raise girls?" felt like arrows piercing his resolve. Ryan battled loneliness and silence, haunted by the scars left by a father who had served in the military, tempered by the confusing ideas of strength and vulnerability. When Sarah came into their lives, a vibrant college student searching for meaning after losing her own father to cancer, everything changed. Full of energy and creativity, she turned their backyard into a wonderland. The twins painted rocks, crafted crowns, and forged memories that felt like magic. "Can we make a treasure map?" Lily asked one afternoon, her eyes alight with excitement. The trio spent hours under the old oak tree, laughter melting the heaviness that clung to Ryan's heart. Little by little, Sarah unraveled the threads of his past, reminding him that it was okay to be raw. But still, doubts whispered like wind through the branches. Was he capable of raising these girls alone, of showing them the world? As the annual 4th of July picnic approached, the tension cracked like firecrackers in the air. Families gathered, enjoying laughter and friendships, yet every glance directed at Ryan pierced his heart. He was an oddity, a single father in a sea of mothers. The prickly feelings churned in his stomach, but battling through the crowd with Emma and Lily, he sought comfort in their smiles. Just as a local father made a snide remark about his girls needing a real mother, Sarah stepped forward, her eyes fierce. "What matters is love, not gender roles." The air shifted, the crowd hesitated, murmurs bouncing around, eyes darting back and forth. Then Sarah revealed a precious truth, a shared experience of loss that connected her and Ryan. Understanding settled in the space between them, sparking the courage to bridge the gap from mere friends to something profound. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the sun dipped low, painting the evening sky in hues of orange and pink, the revelations wrapped around them like the comforting warmth of a shared embrace. The picnic, once an arena of judgment, transformed into a sanctuary of understanding. Yet even amidst this newfound kinship, Ryan faced haunting questions. Could the community shift its judgment? Could he finally shed the weight of a broken man? With autumn approaching, leaves whispering of change, both Ryan and Sarah stood at a precipice, knowing they had to confront their fears together. Would they rise as a family in a world intent on pushing back, or would Ryan find a way to push Sarah away, fearing he wasn't worthy of love or friendship? The twilight beckoned, yet their journey was far from over. Once the last of the fireworks faded into the night, the world around Ryan felt quieter. The laughter of families lingered in the air, but Ryan found himself lost in a fog of contemplation. He watched as Emma and Lily chased each other, their giggles mixing seamlessly with the memories of that day. Hearts full. Yet here, a heaviness lurked beneath the surface. Through the festivities, he felt a newfound connection to Sarah, like an invisible thread pulling them closer, but doubts crept in just as easily. Was it fair to lean on her? She had enough burdens of her own. Suddenly, Ryan felt a wave of protectiveness wash over him, not just for his girls, but for the delicate bond growing between them. "Daddy!" Emma exclaimed, sprinting toward him, dirt still smudged across her cheek. "Did you see me race?" Ryan picked her up, twirling her in the air. "I did. You were the fastest mud pie chef out there." His heart swelled as she laughed, but just then, his gaze wandered to Sarah. She was helping Lily gather up their treasure map supplies, a smile brightening her face. The difference she made was undeniable. She brought out the sparkle in their lives, like the stars that now twinkled in the deepening sky. As the picnic wound down, Ryan's courage began to falter. He glanced at Sarah, who seemed so effortlessly at ease with the girls. Suddenly, he felt small, as though he didn't belong in that moment. "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" he asked, motioning for her to step aside. He needed to speak with her alone, but part of him regretted this sudden urge for clarity. "Sure, everything okay?" she replied, her voice laced with concern. "Yeah, well, sort of," he confessed, his heart pounding. Today meant a lot. But he hesitated, searching for the right words. "But I'm scared. Scared of how people see me." Do you think They just don't understand," she interrupted, her brow furrowed. "What matters here is what you've built with your girls. This community, Ryan, it's bigger than those whispers. You're doing amazing work." Before Ryan could respond, a loud cheer erupted from the nearby picnic tables as they lit sparklers. The sudden joy illuminated their moment, yet Ryan's shadows remained. "Easy for you to say," he mumbled, the vulnerability pouring out in waves. "You're not the one they see as a real father, or lack thereof. What if I can't give them everything they need?" "Love is everything, Ryan." Her words hung there, soft yet solid, like a reassurance. In that instant, he realized she believed in him far more than he believed in himself. But he still felt the weight of his past, shackling his heart, casting dark clouds over their connection. That a silence enveloped them, thick with unspoken fears. Ryan's mind wandered back to his father, a man who had mastered toughness but failed to show tenderness. Was that the path he was destined to repeat? After a deep breath, Sarah reached out, brushing his arm lightly. "You're not your father. You have a chance to change the narrative. Let us change it together." The sincerity in her eyes sparked something deep within Ryan. Could he truly let someone in, trust her, and pursue a relationship that felt so foreign yet thrilling? "Together, then," he whispered, the corners of his mouth lifting in a tentative smile. Just as the excitement of the night began to ebb, the rhythmic hum of cicadas punctuated the air, loud and insistent. Ryan suddenly felt alive. Maybe that was exactly what they needed, a stronger bond forged not just from grief, but from shared laughter and hope. As they returned to the girls, the world around them pulsated with possibility. But in the distance, a new sound crept in, a phone pinging with an alert. Ryan instinctively reached for his pocket, heart sinking as he recognized the name attached to the message. Would this be an invitation into old wounds? Or perhaps a revelation that could shift everything for the better? As he glanced at Sarah, her smile grounded him, yet uncertainty loomed like the approaching darkness. Would he choose to open that door, knowing it could lead them down a dangerous path? Ryan stared at his phone, the screen illuminating his anxious face. The name glared at him, stark and familiar. Jess. It felt like a ghost returning from the past, a reminder of everything he'd tried to leave behind. His heart raced as memories rushed back, loud arguments, tears, and the feeling of betrayal that still lingered like an unwelcome shadow. "Is everything okay?" Sarah's voice pulled him back into the moment. He caught a glimpse of concern in her eyes, but all he could think about was the message displayed before him. "Yeah, it's just," he hesitated, gritting his teeth. "It's Jess. It's been a while since I heard from her. What does she want?" Sarah leaned in closer, her concern palpable. That he glanced back at the message, his hands shaking slightly as he thumbed the screen. "She wants to meet. Says she needs to talk." There was a knot tightening in his stomach. He had no idea what the conversation would open up. Was there more she wanted to take away from him? Would she mention their daughters? "Why now?" "Ryan, you don't have to respond right away." Her soothing tone washed over him, but the urgency of the moment pressed heavy on his chest. Was he ready for this? I don't want her to poison what I'm building with you and the girls," he admitted, the words spilling out. "It took so much to create this space for us. I feel like every time I take a step forward, there's this ghost behind me." Sarah's gaze softened. "You're not defined by your past, you know that, right?" He wanted to believe her, but how could he shake the weight of the memories? It was easy for Sarah, with her bright laughter and effortless connection with Emma and Lily. He felt like the world was watching him closely and waiting for him to falter. "I know. But with her, It's like walking on eggshells. Do I let her back in, or do I cut all ties for good? He ran a hand through his hair, frustration bubbling just underneath the surface. The choices swirled in his mind like an impending storm. Let us figure it out together, she offered, placing her hand over his, grounding him a bit. If she wants to meet, then let's face this head on. But remember, you're in control. You decide what information is shared and how you want to move forward. He noticed how her presence shifted the air around them, filling it with a sense of clarity. They were on this journey together, and for the first time in a long while, he didn't feel alone. As their conversation continued, laughter erupted from Emma and Lily. Their joy was contagious, breaking through his internal struggle. They were full of life, running in circles, illuminating the patio with their youthful energy. It reminded Ryan of what he was fighting for. Yet, the specter of Jess loomed over him, casting long shadows. What if this went south? What if Jess had a reason for wanting to return that jeopardized the peace he'd found? Hey, do you want to go get ice cream? We can take the girls, Sarah suggested, pulling him out of his thoughts. Ryan smiled at the idea, but uncertainty flickered at the edges of his heart. Yeah, let us do that. He trailed off. Did he have the courage to confront Jess while still making time for his new family? As they started toward the car, his phone buzzed with another alert. The response from Jess blinked on the screen, daring him to look. What do I say? He whispered under his breath, glancing at Sarah one last time before the tension returned. Say what feels right, she replied, a twinkle of encouragement in her eyes. With a deep breath, Ryan made his choice. Should he respond now or wait until the ice cream was in his hand and the girl's laughter filled his heart? Would a simple word unlock his past or strengthen the bond he finally had? As he reached for the phone, a myriad of possibilities tingled in the air. What awaited him behind that text? Ryan's heart raced as he finally looked down at his phone. Jess's message was simple yet loaded. Can we meet tomorrow? I really need to talk. It felt like a pebble dropped into a still pond, ripple after ripple, stirring up emotions he thought he had tucked away. Hey, Ryan. Sarah's voice broke through his fog of uncertainty. She had paused beside him, her hands resting on Emma and Lily's shoulders, who were now full of excitement as they contemplated the promises of ice cream. Are you okay? He wanted to be sure he was. Just thinking. His voice was a thin thread, barely holding up under the weight of past and present. Thinking about meeting Jess? She asked, softly probing, but her eyes betrayed a tinge of apprehension. He nodded slowly. Yeah. What if she stirs things back up? What if she wants to talk about the girls? Then you can decide how to handle it, she replied with a confidence that made his heart feel a little lighter. You're not the same person you were. You have a new life now. The twins giggled as Sarah distracted them, reinforcing her belief with her easy laughter. Listening to their playful banter was like a balm, but also a reminder of the stakes. Could he really protect this life? He took a moment to breathe in deeply, shaking off the spiraling thoughts. Let us get that ice cream, Ryan finally said, attempting to shake off the intensity looming over him. The little ones cheered as they hopped into the car, filling the back seat with endless chatter about their favorite flavors. Their innocence had a way of making everything else seem manageable. As they arrived at the ice cream shop, the aroma of freshly made waffle cones filled the air, a sweet distraction from his anxiety. Emma and Lily raced to the counter, their excited faces lit up by the cool, colorful displays. Ryan's heart swelled, and for a brief moment, he forgot about Jess and her troubling specter. When they were settled at a small outdoor table, enjoying their cone creations, he leaned into the moment. Emma, with ice cream all over her face, caught his gaze and beamed. Daddy, look. Mine's the biggest, she exclaimed, delight lacing her voice. Ryan couldn't help but laugh, his worries fading into the background for just a heartbeat. It is the biggest, my little champion. Lily, forever the competitor, held up her cone. Mine's the second biggest. Right, Daddy? You're both winners, he said, smiling wide. It felt good to indulge in this essence of happiness, if only for a while, but the shackles of his thoughts were heavy. No amount of sugar could mask the uncertainty brewing inside him. The sound of laughter turned to silence when a familiar figure walked in. Ryan's heart thundered in his chest at the sight of Jess. She had entered the shop, her eyes instantly locked onto him. The world around them blurred, and it felt as if everything else faded into the background. What are the odds? Sarah muttered under her breath, her expression shifting to one of concern. Ryan's throat felt dry. The ice cream cone in his hand suddenly seemed irrelevant. He took a deep breath, glancing at the girls absorbed in their own sweetness, and felt the tug of nostalgia mixed with fear. Did he want to have this conversation now? With the girls nearby? Are you going to talk to her? Sarah asked quietly, the unwavering support in her tone both comforting and unsettling. He hesitated. The past never truly left, but maybe confronting it was the only way to move forward. As Jess approached, he found himself caught in a moment suspended in time. His thoughts wrestled with memories as uncertainty weighed heavily on his soul. What would happen next? Ryan, Jess said, her voice drawing closer. He had a choice to make, the kind that would shape his reality. Would he turn his back or face her, braving whatever storm was about to unfold? Ryan's mind churned as Jess stepped nearer, her gaze steady and determined. He quickly glanced at Sarah and the girls before taking a hesitant step forward. The laughter and chatter around him faded, and all he could hear was the quickening beat of his own heart. Hey, Jess. The words felt heavy on his tongue, tinged with memories he had tried so hard to bury. He searched her face for a hint of what she wanted, and it was almost impossible to read her expression. Can we talk? Just for a moment? She asked, her voice trembling slightly. He could see how much she wanted this conversation, but the weight of the past was palpable. He thought of Emma and Lily, blissfully unaware, their innocence wrapping around him like a protective bubble. Here? Right now? Jess glanced at the girls, a shadow of guilt crossing her face. I didn't think you'd come here. She took a breath, struggling to find the right words. I need to explain. Ryan's gut tightened. He was a different man now, a father with responsibilities. The temptation to turn his back was strong. Yet, the truth trembled in the air between them like a taut string ready to snap. Let us take a walk. Just us. He pulled Jess aside, towards the quieter end of the shop where fewer eyes could pry. The girls spotted a shiny new board game in the corner, momentarily distracted by its colors. Ryan felt his heart prick with anxiety. This wasn't just about them anymore. It was about everything he had rebuilt since Jess had left. Thank you for agreeing to talk, Jess began, her voice quieter now, softening in the space between them. I know I hurt you, and I can't change the past. But I've thought a lot since. Ryan interrupted, unable to mask the tension in his tone. Since you left? You vanished, Jess. I had to pick up the pieces. Her eyes brightened with unshed tears. I get it. I really do. But I want to be in the girls' lives again. I miss them so much. He felt conflicted. Missed them or missed the idea of them. You walked away when they needed you the most. What makes you think it's okay to stroll back in? I was young and scared, she exclaimed, the vulnerability in her voice clear. I didn't know how to be a mom. I still don't, but I want to try. I want to be better. For them. For you. Ryan's heart ached as the familiar feelings rose to the surface. Every memory of their shared laughter was about to be doused with the potential for hope. But hope was a double-edged sword. Do you really think they should get to know you again? His voice was catching, emotions tightening in his throat. You have to understand that I can't let them get hurt. Jess held his gaze, a hint of determination sparking in her eyes. I'm willing to work for it. I'll do whatever it takes to prove that I belong in their lives. A rush of emotions clouded his thoughts: fear, anger, hope. The possibility of a reunion with Jess, with the girls, danced like a flame in his heart. But could he trust her? Before he could formulate a response, she reached out and placed her hand on his arm, a soft yet electrifying gesture. It was a reminder of the profound bond they once shared. Just give me a chance, please. He felt the weight of that plea, the fragile line between past hurt and potential healing hanging in the air. The laughter of Emma and Lily had returned, echoing softly as if they were inviting him back to the present. Ryan took a deep breath, pondering the risk of opening this door once again. Would he dare to step through, or would he close it for good? And in the midst of this chaos, clarity ignited a question in his heart, one that caught him off guard. Are you ready for what that truly means? He finally asked, not sure if he was more afraid of her answer or his own longing for reconciliation. As their eyes met, the world around them faded again. The weight of that moment hung heavy, full of possibilities and inevitable consequences. Would this be the start of something new, or the unraveling of all that he had fought for? Ryan's voice was barely above a whisper, but it carried the weight of the world. Jess's gaze fell for just a moment, as if the truth of his words had struck her. She seemed to be weighing the gravity of the moment, searching for the right response while the vibrant noise of the shop faded into a dull hum. "I know what it means," she said slowly, gathering her resolve. "It means facing the mistakes I made. It means being there, no matter how hard it gets. I can't just expect you, or the girls, to welcome me back with open arms. I can't just want it. I have to be willing to earn it." He ran a hand through his hair, feeling a familiar tension curling in his chest. Ryan wanted to believe her. He desperately wished for a clear path forward, but that path was shrouded in uncertainty. The memories of late-night cries and diaper changes flooded his mind, juxtaposed against the tears and silence Jess had left in her wake. "But how?" he asked, his voice quaking a little. "How do you expect to just show up after all this time? They're kids, Jess. They need stability." Jess took a step closer, her eyes resolute. "I'll start small. I can't ask to be their mother overnight. I just want a chance to show them that I'm serious, that I'm not running away this time." He thought of Emma and Lily, laughing and playing just a few feet away, completely oblivious to the emotional storm brewing between their parents. Ryan knew how much they loved their mother, even if she hadn't been there. Just the thought of reintroducing her into their lives made his stomach flip. "Let us say I agree to this," Ryan said, cautiously. "How do I know you won't disappoint them again? Don't you think they've been through enough?" Jess closed her eyes for a moment, as if collecting her thoughts. "I wouldn't blame you if you didn't trust me. I wouldn't blame you if you said no. But I want to try. I know it's not fair to ask you to take a leap of faith right away. I just need you to consider it, to think about the possibility of us all being together again." His heart raced at her words. Their family, once shattered, suddenly felt like it could be pieced together again. But what if it shattered again? Ryan clenched his fists, battling the whirlpool of emotions. "I don't want to see them hurt." His voice cracked as he spoke. "They deserve the best, Jess. If you're going to be part of their lives again, you have to understand everything I do," she interrupted, desperation creeping into her tone. "I know I don't deserve a chance, but I want to try to be better. For them. For you." The plea in her eyes ignited something deep within him, a flicker of hope, battling against years of hurt. He could feel the gravity of the decision pressing on his chest. What if this was a chance for his daughters? A chance to know their mother, to create connections he had so desperately shielded them from? Just then, a laugh from Emma rang through the air, bright and innocent, a reminder of all that was at stake. Ryan glanced over at the girls, their joy weaving through layers of tension. "I need to talk to them first," he finally said, feeling like the words were as heavy as stones. "I want to make a decision without them. They deserve to know what is happening." Jess nodded, concern flickering in her eyes, but also a glimmer of hope. "I understand," she replied softly. "Just, please don't dismiss me outright. I just want a chance." As Ryan stepped back into the bustling atmosphere of the shop, the laughter of Emma and Lily seemed to pull him in, yet his heart stayed heavy with uncertainty. Could he really ask his daughters to accept the woman who had walked away? And as he crouched to their level, ready to explain, a new fear crept in. What if they didn't want to know her? What if their answer shattered everything? What if they reject her? Ryan thought, tension prickling at the back of his mind, the weight of the air thickening around him. How did he balance this risk against the longing for connection? Would this moment bridge the gap or widen it? Was their long-lost mother? As Ryan knelt before his daughters, he took a deep breath, his heart pounding like a drum in his chest. Emma and Lily looked up at him, their faces painted with innocence and joy. It felt unreal, as if the world around them had quieted, leaving only the sound of his own heartbeat reverberating in his ears. "Hey, girls," he started, his voice soft yet firm. "I need to talk to you about something important, something that might change things for us." Their laughter faded, replaced by curious expressions. Emma, with her brown curls cascading around her shoulders, tilted her head and whispered, "What is it, Daddy?" Ryan swallowed hard, knowing that what he was about to say could reshape their little world. "You know how sometimes people can get lost? Sometimes they come back? It's about Mommy, isn't it?" Lily chimed in, her big blue eyes wide with a mixture of excitement and uncertainty. "Yes," he replied slowly, gauging their reactions. "Mommy has been gone for a while, but she wants to come back. She wants to be part of our lives again." Silence hung in the air, a heavy blanket of tension. Emma exchanged a glance with Lily, and Ryan could almost see the wheels turning in their little minds. Would they remember the bad times? Would they remember how it felt when Jess wasn't around? Lily's voice pierced the silence. But what if she leaves again? I don't want her to hurt us again. Ryan's heart sank. He held his breath, his insides twisting at the vulnerability of the moment. I know, sweetie. I understand how you feel, really. It's been hard, and I can't promise everything will be perfect. But I want you to think about the good parts too. She loves you both, and she wants to try. But what if we don't want to try? Emma piped up, her small fists clenching at her sides. What if we just want things to stay the way they are? That was the question hanging in the air, wasn't it? Ryan's heart ached. He wished he could shield them from disappointment forever. Yet deep down he knew change was inevitable, whether he set the wheels in motion or not. I can't force you to love her again. But it's your choice. We can take baby steps. Meet her, see what you think. If you don't want her back, that's okay. I promise I won't make you do anything. Lily looked up at him, biting her lip. Emma's brows knitted in thought. They were too smart for their age, too intuitive for their own good. Ryan felt something shift within him, an undeniable hope threaded with fear. Will she come to our house? Emma asked, her voice small. Ryan nodded, keeping his face neutral. She wants to visit. Maybe we can start with lunch and see what happens from there. But I want you to be there, Lily added quickly, her voice tinged with urgency. You have to be with us, Dad. Of course, I wouldn't leave you. We'll be together, Ryan insisted, reaching out to tuck a strand of hair behind Lily's ear. He was grateful for their need for him, for their unconditional love despite the messiness of life. The girls nodded slowly, uncertainty etching their expressions. Ryan felt a mix of pride and protection swell within him. They were brave, facing the unknown with cautious hearts. But as he held their gazes, another dread stirred within him. Was he pushing them too fast? Could he reset the delicate balance they'd built? Let us talk about it some more later, Ryan said, shifting the atmosphere. We have plenty of time. Just know whatever you decide, I'm here for you, every step of the way. A sudden wave of thought washed over him. He had been struggling to find the right words, to provide the right answers. But now, as he watched his daughters grapple with this emotional labyrinth, he felt another question arise. What if, in the pursuit of reconnecting with their mother, he inadvertently placed them in another maze of heartbreak? As the possibility settled like an unwelcome guest in his mind, Ryan felt himself holding his breath, waiting for their next words. The reality of the path ahead crept into his thoughts, igniting both trepidation and hope. Would this journey lead them to healing or further heartbreak? The uncertainty loomed large, casting shadows yet to be seen. Ryan stood up, trying to shake off the heavy emotions settling in his chest. He needed to be strong for his girls, but the flutter of doubt lingered. He forced a smile, hoping to lift the atmosphere. Okay, how about we find a fun activity to distract ourselves? He suggested, trying to sound upbeat. The girls loved going to the park, and a simple outing might take the edge off their worries. Emma perked up, her curiosity winning against uncertainty. Can we go to the swings? Absolutely, he replied, glad to see a spark of enthusiasm shining through. With a gentle nudge, he gathered their jackets. The sun was making its way toward the horizon, casting golden hues across the sky, a perfect backdrop for their evening at the park. As they walked, Ryan stole glances at his daughters. They were so different yet equally captivating. Emma, always the dreamer, gazed up at the clouds, imagining adventures among the stars. Lily, the more grounded one, followed the path closely, eyes on the ground, contemplating life's little treasures like pebbles and twigs. Arriving at the park, Ryan set them loose, watching as they sprinted toward the swings. He felt relief washing over him. Maybe a change of scenery was what they all needed. He positioned himself on a nearby bench, letting the cool breeze wash over him. Daddy, push me. Emma giggled, her hands gripping the chains tightly as she soared into the air. Ryan obliged, his hand firmly on her back, lifting her higher and higher. Whoa, look how high I am. Emma squealed as Lily swung next to her, competing for height. Despite the joy in their voices, Ryan felt a twinge in his heart. Could they find that level of excitement when they saw their mother? Would it be as simple as swinging on a playground? Or would awkwardness and heartache hang in the air like the clouds above? Lily soon jumped off her swing with a giggle and raced toward the slide. She climbed up and waved down. "Come on, Dad. It's your turn." Ryan couldn't resist. He smiled, feeling the day's worries fade with each laugh. He climbed the steps, letting go of his doubts for just a moment. Sliding down, he found himself in a heap of giggles with Lily, who squealed as he landed beside her. "You're silly, Daddy." She laughed, her eyes sparkling with delight. As they played, laughter echoed through the park, wrapping around them like a warm embrace. But in between the laughs, Ryan's mind wandered. He imagined Jess's face, the uncertainty of her return hanging like an unanswered question. Were they ready for this? "Hey, sweetie," he said to Lily as they recovered from a slide. "What would you tell Mommy if you saw her?" Lily's brows furrowed in thought. "I think I'd ask her about the stars," she replied slowly. "And why she left." Ryan's heart sank again, the innocence in her voice cutting deep. "That's really brave," he replied, fighting back emotions. "What would you say?" Emma piped up as she joined them, her curiosity ignited. "I'd tell her we've missed her, and I'd ask her to stay." His voice trembled, but he spoke truthfully. The park gradually emptied, becoming quiet except for the rustling leaves. With the sun dipping lower, casting an orange glow across the park, Ryan felt the familiar ache in his chest return. What lay ahead felt terrifying, poised on the edge of healing and heartbreak. "We should head back home," he said softly, glancing at his daughters. "Maybe we can get some ice cream on the way." Both girls cheered, the prospect of sweet treats invigorating their spirits. As they walked back, Ryan's heart felt heavy again, tension brewing beneath the surface. Could ice cream fill the void of the unknown? As they neared their car, a sudden thought made him stop. What if Jess didn't feel the same way anymore? What if the girl's excitement was misplaced? The weight of uncertainty settled on him once again. He climbed into the driver's seat, ready to navigate them toward ice cream, yet his mind raced. Would this endeavor be a step toward healing, or yet another stumble into a maze of pain? As the sun dipped below the horizon, Ryan tightened his grip on the steering wheel, knowing the answers would soon unfold. Would tomorrow bring hope, or would it lead them deeper into tangled emotions? The night loomed ahead, cloaked in questions yet to be answered. Ryan pulled out of the parking lot, his heart racing as the car's engine hummed softly beneath them. He kept glancing in the rearview mirror to catch glimmers of Emma and Lily's faces lit by the fading light, a portrait of innocence in a world that felt anything but. The streets began to quiet, and all Ryan could think about was the impending conversation with Jess. "Are you excited for ice cream?" he asked, forcing cheer into his voice. Emma bounced in her seat, her enthusiasm contagious. "Yes. Chocolate chip mint, please. I want strawberry." Lily chimed in, her small hands clasped in her lap. He nodded, feeling a flicker of warmth despite the looming uncertainty. As they pulled into the ice cream shop parking lot, the glow of neon signs illuminated the girls' eager faces. It was as if the sugary promises of sprinkles and whipped cream could sweep away their worries, if only for a moment. The bell above the door jingled as they entered, and the scent of waffle cones filled the air. Ryan watched as his daughters approached the counter, eyes wide and scanning the flavors like they were picking out treasures. He admired their carefree spirit, something he desperately wanted to protect amidst the chaos surrounding their family. "What do you think, girls? Do you want to sit outside?" he suggested, pointing to the little patio. The cool evening breeze would be refreshing. "Yes, yes," both girls shouted in unison, and Ryan grinned. He ordered their ice cream, 2 cones of strawberry, and 1 giant scoop of mint chocolate chip. As he sat down, the girls began chatting about school, their voices bright against the quiet night. "Daddy," Emma suddenly said, her expression shifting, "what if Mommy is sad?" Ryan froze, his heart dropping at the question. "Why do you think that, sweetie?" "Because she left, and she may not know how to come back. Maybe we should make her a card to say we love her?" The suggestion hit Ryan hard. A card. What a simple yet profound gesture. But could words on paper convey the whirlwind of emotions swirling in his heart? "I like that idea," he replied after a moment, masking the lump in his throat. "Maybe we can do that tomorrow." "Will that make her happy?" Lily asked, her eyes wide with hope. Ryan nodded, though doubt flickered inside him. "It's a way to show we care. We can remind her we're still here." As the girls delighted in their ice cream, He felt the weight of their hopes resting heavily on his shoulders. Would it be enough? Would Jess see their love and choose to stay? His mind raced, riddled with uncertainty about their future. Can we build a blanket fort tonight? Emma asked, licking her cone with a big smile. Ryan smiled at her excitement. Of course. A cozy night and sounds perfect. Once outside, the comforting night air filled his lungs, yet he couldn't shake off the nagging anxiety. What if Jess couldn't forgive herself? What if she came back but the bond they shared had shifted? They finished their ice cream and headed to the car, laughter echoing among the stars. Yet, as Ryan strapped the girls in, his heart tightened again. Was this short reprieve just a lull before a storm? Driving home, the silence felt heavy. Turning onto their street, he caught a glimpse of their house, familiar yet foreign. Can I help you make the card for Mommy tomorrow? Lily asked, breaking his thoughts. Of course, sweetheart, he replied softly. As they climbed out of the car, Ryan inhaled deeply. The night wrapped around them, oddly comforting and still full of unanswered questions. Inside, the house felt silent. Yet it was a silence vibrant with dreams and possibilities. As he tucked the girls into bed, reading them a story and brushing away stray hairs from their foreheads, he felt the love radiating from their small, warm bodies. Daddy, do you think Mommy will be happy to see us? Emma whispered, eyes fluttering sleepily. I hope so, he murmured, his voice almost a prayer. As he turned off the light and closed the door slightly, darkness enveloped him. The promise of tomorrow echoed in his mind. Would they really be ready for whatever the day might bring? With each tick of the clock, a looming question loomed larger. How would he prepare the girls for what lay ahead? The dawn broke clear and bright, spilling soft golden light through the curtains of Ryan's modest home. As he watched Emma and Lily sleep curled up with their blankets like little rainbows, his heart was a patchwork of hope and apprehension. Today was a turning point, the day they would meet Jess again. The house was filled with both anticipation and anxiety, colors swirling like the birds flitting outside. Good morning, sunshine, he whispered as he gently woke them up, his heart suddenly racing. We have a busy day ahead. Is it time to make the card? Lily asked, her eyes lighting up with the innocence of a child who believed in magic. Yep, we're going to pour all our love into it. Ryan smiled, his heart swelling with warmth as he got them ready. They gathered supplies, a stack of colorful paper, markers, stickers, and all the little tools of creativity. The kitchen table transformed into a crafting station. With giggles and chatter, they filled the space with laughter, drawing hearts and writing messages that echoed with pure love. As Ryan watched them create, a thought crept into his mind. Maybe Jess would appreciate this gesture, a reminder that they were still kind-hearted, still hopeful, despite the past. His fingers tapped nervously against the table, worried about how this day might unfold. After finishing the cards, Ryan approached the girls. Okay, let us take a little break and talk about today. Meeting Mommy is a big thing. Emma's face turned serious. What if it's awkward? What if she is still sad? Lily nodded in agreement, her small brow furrowed. You said it'll take time. Ryan knelt down to their level, the weight of their vulnerability heavy in the air. You're right, it could feel weird. But no matter how we feel, we face it together as a family. Together, echoed the girls, a resolute echo binding them. Ryan held them close, their small bodies fitting snugly under his arms. With renewed purpose, they ventured out the day, despite being filled with clouds of uncertainty, shimmered with potential. They arrived at the cafe where Jess had suggested meeting. Ryan felt his heart quicken again. The familiar smell of coffee brewed, mingling with the faint hope lingering in the air. The twins, still filled with childlike excitement, danced around the cafe, their innocent energy lifting the spirit of the place. When Jess arrived, Ryan's pulse quickened. There she stood, uncertain yet determined, like a beacon wavering in the fog. Her eyes met his, filled with a mix of anticipation and trepidation. The moment hung thick, time stretching as if the universe took a breath. Hey, Ryan, she began, hesitantly stepping forward. Ryan hadn't realized how fast his heart raced until her voice pulled him back to reality. Hi, Jess. Are the girls here? Her voice, once familiar, now felt distant, edged with a hesitation that was hard to ignore. They're right here, Ryan replied, gesturing for Emma and Lily to join him. Each step they took felt like wading through water, slow and heavy. "Mommy?" Emma spoke, her voice a sweet whisper, edged with innocence and curiosity. Jess knelt down, her expression softening. "Yes, my little stars, I've missed you so much." Tension filled the air, thick yet fragile. The girls hesitated, unsure how to navigate emotions pent up for so long. In that moment, Ryan realized this was not about confronting his past and providing forgiveness or closure. This was about giving their girls a chance to feel, to connect, and redefine what family meant. "I have something for you," Lily announced, her small voice reaching jazz-like notes of courage. She held out the card they had made, adorned with drawings and loving words scrawled in messy handwriting. Jess's eyes widened, tears pooling as she reached for it. Reverence splashed over her features. "Oh, girls, this is beautiful. Thank you for this. It really means a lot to me." Emma, still brave in her innocence, added, "We want you to be happy back with us." The room held its breath. A flicker of recognition passed between Jess and the girls. An acknowledgement of the past, but also a promise for the present, a willingness to try again. Ryan, watching this unfold, felt a weight lift from his heart. They didn't need to forget the past completely, but healing was beginning, nourished by that simple act of kindness. As laughter drifted back into the air, shaping a connection around them like a warm embrace, Ryan felt a wave of hope wash over him. Was it the calm after the storm? Or a new adventure waiting to bloom? The day they were creating was blank, but it was bursting with the colors of possibility, the potential for love, connection, and family. No longer hesitating, Ryan reached for Jess's hand, grateful for the hope growing between them, a quiet acceptance of the bumps in the road, and an unspoken commitment to gather their pieces. Together, the afternoon sun streamed through the cafe window. Ryan finally felt the threads tying them to the past begin to unravel, revealing a path towards something beautiful and new. "Okay," he said, his voice steady with newfound strength. "Let us start this journey again, one step at a time." Today felt like the first page of a book they would write together, full of laughter, love, and the promise of what family truly meant. You need to subscribe now to witness the next chapter in this emotional journey. Leave a like now to fuel the algorithm and spread the love. Comment below with your thoughts and feelings about this incredible transformation. Share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who could use a little hope in their lives. Don't wait not even one more second to inspire others with this story of love and resilience.